When you think of Yonsei's past, what comes to mind?
How Yonsei used to be a Yunhee school and then it jointed with Severance. And I also think about missionaries because we are a mission school, like Christianity based, Underwood.
Personally, I, I guess the first that comes in my mind is the alumni of Yonsei. Well, there's Yoon Dongju, and there's Hangang, and then there's Lee Han-yeol. Actually, I wanted to come to Yonsei University because of those alumni.
I think the inauguration of the university, how Underwood founded the university, and also how it helped during the independence of Korea.
The 1980s were a time of turmoil in South Korea. After the assassination of Park Chung-hee in 1979, a military coup led by Chun Do-won placed the country under authoritarian rule. Do you think Yonsei students were involved in South Korea's democracy movement in the 1980s?
I'm not really sure, but I heard a lot of stories from upperclassmates that how a lot of students were really involved and they went out on protests and stuff. So.
Well, yes, I do. I think that's not an opinionated thing to say, it's just a fact.
Yonsei University was the main character, especially after the death of Park Chung-cheol. He was a Seoul National University student. Because of that, these huge student movements happened in Yonsei University.
As frustration with military rule grew, students from Yonsei took to the streets, demanding democratic reform. Student-led protests filled Sinchon, challenging the government's authoritarian control. Despite government crackdowns, the voices of Yonsei students grew louder, their fight fueled by the belief that change was possible.
The start was Lee Han-yeol.
Every year around June-ish, I think we do have the big poster of Lee Han-yeol. He was a martyr for Korean democracy. We have it on the Student Union building, and that whole incident prompted the June democracy movement. So Yonsei was definitely a stage for democratization.
On June 9, 1987, Yonsei student Lee Han-yeol joined thousands of others in a protest demanding democratic reform. As riot police attempted to disperse the crowd, they fired tear gas indiscriminately into the protesters.
So Lee Han-yeol, while he was protesting in front of the Yonsei University's main gate, he got injured by the police officers, and because of his injury and after his death, the protests were just exploded throughout the Korean society.
As protests escalated across the country, Yonsei students remained at the heart of the struggle. Demonstrations became larger, more coordinated, and increasingly met with government force. Many students were beaten, arrested, and tear-gassed as they stood against the military regime.
Everywhere in the universities shouted out bring back Lee Han-yeol, and even normal people mothers and fathers all came to the protest and shouted out bring back Lee Han-yeol, he's our son. Lee Han-yeol, Yonsei University's Lee Han-yeol was actually the main reason of Korea's democratization and the reformation of the constitution.
Regarding Yonsei's democratic movement history, what part stands out to you the most?
I think the fact that when you see pictures of the democratization back in the days, you can just clearly see that it's Baekhyanglo, like the main street that still exists until now, and also you can see the main gate.
At Yonsei University, the Lee-hanyeo Memorial Hall and other commemorative sites stand as reminders of the sacrifices made for our democracy.
It's just interesting to see how some parts just didn't change and how such a violent turning point in our history actually happened here. It just instills a sense of admiring, and yeah, it feels kind of weird but pretty cool at the same time.
The story of Yonsei's democracy movement is not just history. It is a reminder of the power of student activism, of the courage to stand up for what is right. We remember so that we do not repeat the past.